Later in the morning, the presidential party makes its way to County Wexford. The first stop is Duncanstown, near New Ross, from which his great-grandfather, Patrick Kennedy, had immigrated to the United States 100 years earlier. Here he is greeted by relatives and friends, and the informality of this visit remembered by all who witnessed it. His hostess is Mary Ryan, his nearest living relative in Ireland. In the concrete farmyard from which Patrick Kennedy had immigrated, tables are set for a tea party, and soon President Kennedy becomes the central figure in a lighthearted family picnic. He drank several cups of tea and ate salmon sandwiches, joking with his cousin as to whether the salmon had been illegally poached from the Barrow River. He cut a ceremonial cake and handed slices around. He asked for neighbors and distant relatives and invited officials and security guards to join in eating the food. Then, proposing a toast, he said, "We will drink a cup of tea to all the Kennedys who have gone away and to all who have remained at home." His enthusiasm and obvious enjoyment became so infectious that an official occasion became a happy family reunion, and security measures and the demands of the official program went by the board. And so John Fitzgerald Kennedy had visited the home of his ancestors. The visit may have been brief, but the people of Duncanstown regard it as a signal honor, and the story of that visit would no doubt be retold for decades around the firesides of County Wexford. As a remembrance of his visit, he plants special trees and pats the heads of local children lined up outside the farmyard. From Duncanstown, the presidential party moves to the town of Wexford. Here, a schoolboy band greets him with the song of the great Wexford hero, Kelly, the boy from Killaan, which so touched the president that he joined in the chorus. On the docks of Wexford stands the 10-foot-high statue of John Barry, father of the American Navy and commander in the first naval battle of the American Revolution. He was also the first man to receive a commission in the United States Navy. There is the usual parade through the narrow streets of ancient Wexford. Even billboards and rooftops are utilized on this special occasion.
My country welcomed so many sons and daughters of so many countries, Irish and Scandinavian and German, Italian, and all the rest, and gave them a fair chance and a fair opportunity. The Speaker of the House of Representatives is Irish of descent. The leader of the Senate is of Irish descent. And what is true of the Irish has been true of dozens of other people. In Ireland, I think you see something of what is so great about the United States. And I must say that in the United States, through millions of your sons and daughters and cousins, 25 million, in fact, you see something of what is great about Ireland.
The next stop is New Ross, a port town at the mouth of the Barrow River. It was from here that Patrick Kennedy had sailed for the New World 100 years before. In New Ross, he receives a tumultuous welcome. The man whose fame circles the earth is coming to honor them. The great-grandfather who had brought the name and fame of the Kennedys to the United States was one of themselves. Now his great-grandson is returning, not only as a Kennedy, but as president of the greatest nation on earth. And for that reason, they are justly proud. On a platform along the Barrow River, the president accepts the gifts of the townspeople for Mrs. Kennedy. The presentation is made by Andy Minahan, the stately bearded figure who conducted the ceremony in a spirit of humor. Accompanying the president are his two sisters, Mrs. Eunice Schreiber and Mrs. Jean Smith. The visit to New Ross was indeed informal, and here the president was completely relaxed, and his subsequent speech was a highlight of the Wexford visit. When my great-grandfather left here to become a cooper in East Boston, he carried nothing with him except two things: a strong religious faith and a strong desire for liberty. And I'm glad to say that all of his great-grandchildren have valued that inheritance. Yeah. If he hadn't left, I'd be working over at the Albatross Company. Or perhaps for John D. Kelly. In any case, we are happy to be back here. About 50 years ago, an Irishman from New Ross traveled down to Washington with his family, and in order to tell his neighbors how well he was doing, he had his picture taken in front of the White House and said, "This is our summer home. Come and see us." Well, it's our home also in the winter, and I hope you will come and see us. Thank you.